was led to Golgotha on the outskirts of town, then nailed to a rugged cross as his mockers gathered round. The sky spoke like thunder when he finally bowed his head. He who had given life now hung there dead. Then his mom and some friends came to carry him away. They were trying to speak through a broken heart, but only tears could say. The sunset cast no shadow on the world's darkest day, and with one last look they laid him in the grave. But I talked to him today, and my cares all fell away. He made me feel like life had just begun. He said all of my trials can be turned into triumph through the victory that he's already won. And I talked to him today, and the comfort that he gave filled me with desire to tell the world that on Calvary he died, but right now he is alive. I know because I talked to him today. Mary Magdalene came breathless to the place where Peter lay. He was searching through his broken heart, trying to find the faith to pray. But as he heard her joyful story, his sorrow could not stay, and his hope sprang out through the words he heard her say. She said, I talked to him today, and my cares all fell away. He made me feel like life had just begun. He said all of my trials can be turned into triumph through the victory that he's already won. And I talked to him today, and the comfort that he gave filled me with desire to tell the world that on Calvary he died, but right now he is alive. I know because I talked to him today, that on Calvary he died, but right now he is alive. I know because I talked to him today.
2 Corinthians tonight, chapter 4. I'm a native Californian, born and raised in California. Anytime I go preach somewhere out of the state, they're always making fun of California. Bunch of, what do they say? California's like a bowl of granola. Take out the fruits and nuts, and all you got left is a bunch of flakes. You got nothing but hot rods and homosexuals in California, and I don't see you driving no fast car. And today, right here in this place, on this platform, I saw a Texas preacher tell a guy he loved him. No, he liked him. Then he loved him. And then he kind of looked at him like, I don't want to hear about it anymore, bro. I'm telling you that right. I've never done that with a guy. I've never looked at a guy. Then he put his arm around him. Were you here? Did you see it? Am I telling you the truth? Oh, man, I'm telling you, that's it. Okay, good. I'm just saying, I'm born and raised in California. I don't even own any spandex, and I get nailed everywhere I go. I get nailed for being from California and all that kind of stuff. I was preaching in a meeting back east, and these guys kept ripping on California and everything else, West Coast, left coast, all this kind of junk. And I got up to speak. And I say, you guys out here with your 42 churches on one block and everything else is going on. I said, why don't you come out to California and start a church? If you're such a big man, it's such a bad place. Why don't you shut your mouth and come out to California and start a church? What's the matter with you? Afraid some queer's going to hit you with his purse? Come on out to California and start a church. What's wrong with you? That kind of thing. They didn't ask me back. Okay, good. I said, you keep it up and you go home and tell your mama, a guy from California whapped you so stinking hard your mama felt it, but that's okay. Look, I'm a native Californian. I'm born and raised here. I love my state. I don't love everything about it, but I love this state. I think California's amazing. I really do. I think it's incredible, and I really appreciate this opportunity to be here. Let's stand our feet, please. We're going to stand through the whole sermon because it's going to be really short. And I promise I'll be as brief as possible no matter how long it takes me. 2 Corinthians chapter 4 and verse number 3. But if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost. 2 Corinthians 4 verse 4. In whom the God of this world hath blinded the minds of them which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Christ, who is the image of God, should shine unto them. In verse 4, he's talking about people with perfectly good sight, but who become blinded. In the Bible, there's two kinds of blindness in the Bible. There is that type where they want to see but cannot. The second kind of blindness in the Bible is the one I want to talk to you about tonight, and that's somebody who has perfectly good vision and can see but won't. Jesus talked about it. He said, there'll be people out here preaching. I'll be preaching to them. He said, they'll be hearing me, but they won't be listening. And there'll be people who could see at perfectly good sight, but they won't. That kind of blindness to me, see, it just doesn't make sense how somebody who could actually see not be willing to do so. I had a friend when I was a boy. My dad was a Baptist preacher, ran off with one of the women in the church. My family broke up. I was about a year old, and my mother turned to drink, became a drunkard, and I lived back and forth between relatives for quite a bit. In fact, I pastor in town now where I lived in a drunkard's home as a boy. For a period of time between family members living back and forth in different places, I lived with my grandparents for a while. Very godly people, wonderful people. One day she came to me. I was in the elementary grade at the time in Pittsburgh, California, and she came to me. She said, Michael, now my grandfather was a construction worker. He was a superintendent of a construction company. He built the first mall in California, in Concord, and was a superintendent of that job. My grandmother was a cafeteria worker in a junior high school. She came to me one day and she said, Michael, you're going to get out of school a couple hours before I can get home, and I don't want you here by yourself, so I want you to go to our good friend's house, the Luttrell's house. She said, in fact, she has a son. Mrs. Luttrell has a son who's your age, and you'll be able to spend a couple hours, and we guys can play and stuff, and then I'll come and get you when I get off of work. And I said, yes, ma'am. So I go to the house. I'd never met the family, never met this guy who was supposed to be my age. They only lived a few blocks away from us. Went over to the house. Knocked on the door. His mom came to the door and she said, Michael. I said, yes, ma'am. She said, come on in. Stan's watching television, and then you guys can go play in a few minutes. I said, okay, fine. I walked over, and I could see the back of his head. This kid sitting there, and his nose was that far from the television set. And I thought, what in the world? She said, Stanley, Michael's here, and he's going to be with us for a couple hours. You guys go play a little bit. He goes, yes, Mom, but right now I'm watching TV. And then he turned around and he looked at me, and he was blind. He'd been blind from birth, had never seen. He had that gray look about the iris, and the color of the eye was all gray. My grandmother never told me Stan Luttrell was blind. And I stood there and I looked at him, and I thought to myself, I'd been around people without sight, but I'd never been that close to one before. And I just kind of looked at him and I thought, what am I going to do with a blind guy? And I just sort of stood there for a moment. I thought, what in the world? So after a few minutes, he got up and he goes, oh, hey, Mike, how's it going? I said, good, man. He said, no, his mom said, we want some cookies or something? Come on at the table and things. And I walked over and sat down at the table. She got the cookies out. Stan walked over. He wasn't doing the Frankenstein thing either. He just walked over to the table, pulled a chair out, sat down. We sat there for a few moments. He goes, so you go, I'm at Parkside Elementary. And I said, where you go? He goes, well, I go to the School of the Blind. And we were sitting there talking for a moment and that sort of thing. After we talked for a few minutes, got through our cookies, all of a sudden, another knock on the door, and a couple of guys from the neighborhood that I knew came over, and they said, hey, Stanley. He goes, yeah, guys, what? And he goes, let's go play. I thought, okay. Stanley's going to go outside and go play. And one of them says, you want to play hide and seek? I thought, oh, man, now that's cold. That is really cold. They're going to play hide and seek with a blind guy. Right. Was he going to be it? Yeah. I just stood there, and Stan goes, yeah, man, let me go change my shoes. And I went, huh? I went over to the door, and Stan was in the bedroom. I go, hey, man, the guys. No, he can't see. They go, yeah, we know. And I go, no, you don't. You can play hide and seek with a blind guy? They, yeah, we do it all the time. I go, you guys stink, man. You got to be kidding me. You can play hide and seek with a blind guy. He comes around the corner. Here comes Stan. No, look at me. I ain't preaching. I'm telling the truth. Now, look at me. Stan comes around the corner, put his tennis shoes on. He goes, I'm it, right? I'm it, huh? First of all, I should probably ask, do you know what hide and seek is? How many have ever played hide and seek? Not a video game where you actually go outside. So, look at that. Put your fat hand up there. Let me see you. But now put them down. How many have never played hide and seek in your entire life? What was the rest of you? Why didn't you raise your hand? You embarrassed, or you gave your body and you can't raise your hand now, or what happened? I'm trying to make. It's a simple game, right? One guy's it. He goes over, counts to 20 or 50 or whatever, and everybody runs and hides. I mean, it's pretty simple. You don't have to have an app on your phone for it or anything like that. I mean, it's pretty basic. And after he's done counting, he goes, ready or not, here I come. And everybody's in hiding, and he gets the base is over here, right? The tree in the middle of the yard usually or something, right? And then while he gets a little away from the base, everybody tries to run over and touch the base. If he touches you, you're it. I mean, it ain't rocket science, okay? Stan goes, I want to be it. And I thought, no, okay, now that's really bad. So they all go, yeah, Stan, yeah, Stan. I go, man, you guys stink. And he's going to be it? What is he going to do, walk and fall off a curb or something? And you go touch the base? I mean, you got to win that bad? They go, no, watch. And I go, Stan goes over to the tree. 1, 2, 3. He covers his eyes. And he starts counting, and they all run and start hiding like Stan can see. They're hiding behind cars, and they're hiding in bushes and stuff. There's Stan over there. I just backed up about 20 foot, and I thought, this is sick, but I ain't losing to a blind dude, man. I'm going to tell you that right now. He's going to turn around and go, here I go, and he's going to stagger off over that way. I'm going to just walk over and touch the thing. I'm in. I mean, look, I'm a passionate person, but when it comes to competition, I got to win. You know what I'm saying? So I'm standing over here, Stanley's over there. Ready or not, here I come. I'm just standing there going, this is ridiculous. And Stan turns, and he looks right my direction. And he goes, it's you, isn't it, Mike? I thought, the lying sucker he can see. Let me tell you something, bro. Let me tell you something. I still have nightmares of a blind guy coming at me with his hand out like this. I'm standing there. I'm just standing perfectly still. And Stan Luttrell's coming right to me with that hand out in them eyes. I can't do the gray thing. I'll just go cross-eyed. How about that, okay? And I thought, whoa. So I tried to back up. He goes, you can't back up. I'll get you. I go. So I went. And I held my breath. And I'm watching him coming at me with him hand. And I back up. I took off running. Stan Luttrell chased me. He chased me. And every one of those suckers I was playing hide and seek with got to the base. Because they knew I didn't know that Stan Luttrell, look at me, never lost at hide and go seek. he chased me down the street. He'd hear my feet, bop, 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 and he chased me down the street. I'd turn, he'd turn. I kept thinking, this guy can see. I know he can see. And not only that, he is one fast blind boy. Man, that dude is after me. You know, Stan Luttrell, he never saw a sunrise. He never saw a sunset in his life. Sometimes we'd be sitting on the backyard. He'd say, I feel this on my face. Mike, what is that on the side of my face? Is that the sun? I say, yes, Stan, that's the sun. He said, what does it look like? Well, you know, we describe it the way we describe something we see, but he'd never seen before. So he couldn't say it was orange or yellow or glowed, because color didn't matter to him. He'd never seen color. You couldn't describe it to him. You know, it's a greater tragedy than Stan Luttrell went through his entire life blind. It's somebody with a perfectly good sight who will not see. That's the worst kind of blindness. Now, young people, look at me this evening, real quickly, and I want to talk to you about this thing about, are you blind tonight? Heavenly Father, help us this evening. Bless, I pray tonight in Christ's name. Amen. Thank you. Please be seated. You know, this thing about a person with perfectly good sight who can see but does not is very much like a blind person. For instance, they can't see what's going on around them. They can't see it. Some of you, young people, this is going to be old school, so just stay with the old man for just a moment. I know this is old school, but some of you, you don't see how really blessed you are in your life. You just don't see it. No, you don't see it because you don't have the stuff everybody else has. You don't have what someone else has. You don't look like somebody else. You know, Brother Gray was getting on your case about, you know, the appearance issue. And how that's such a crippling thing to some people. If they're too tall, they're tall, they want to be short. If they're short, they want to be tall. If they're skinny, they want to stay skinny. If they're fat, they want to be skinnier. They got happy with the color of their eyes. They're not happy with the color of their hair. They're not happy with this. They're not happy with that. And if you ask the average young person, are you happy in your life? They'd probably say, no, not really. And if you asked them why, they couldn't even tell you. They're just not happy. You're kidding me. Now, again, another old school statement, if I may. Growing up in a drunkard's home, getting beat by my drunk stepfather who was a bartender, having to go to the refrigerator in the morning, open the refrigerator for a kid who's in the 3rd grade, having to make his own breakfast, and all there was 2 6-packs of Hamm's beer in there, and not enough food to feed anybody anything. Hey, you know, that's just amazing to me. I still think it's a big deal to open a refrigerator and there's food in the refrigerator. It's still a big thing to me to go to bed at night and lay my head on a pillow at night and go to sleep and not hear people beating on each other and cursing and swearing and carrying on in life. You know, it's just that way for me. You say, well, Pastor Johnson, that's what my home life was like. But even still, no matter how difficult it is for you, can't you see the blessings of your life? We've got perfectly good sight. I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to hear how you're not happy. I don't want to hear about you're bored. You know why young people are bored? Because you're boring. That's why. I'd like to have enough time to get bored. That would be fantastic to me. I couldn't tell you the last time I was bored in my life. I couldn't. The truth of the matter is, I'm one happy dude. My Okie people, he's from Texas. My people are from Oklahoma. My mom was from Texas. So I got Texas blood in me. My dad's from Oklahoma. It's a mixed marriage. And the truth is, my Okie people have an expression. I'm as happy as a dead pig in the sunshine. Now, I have no idea how a dead pig could be happy when the sun's shining and he don't know what's going on. But I'm going to tell you something, Spanky. I am one happy dude. You know that? I'm a happy man. I have no reason to not be happy. Oh, yeah, I'm saved. I'm going to heaven. I got the Bible. I'm married to the most amazing woman on this planet. Incredible. Mother of 4, grandmother of 6. Where's she at? 6? 7. I keep forgetting one of them. Most men can't. Couldn't tell you when my kids' birthdays are. It's awful. I know that. I'm a guy, okay? Just forgive me for that. But it's amazing to me. See, I have no reason to not feel blessed in my life. I just have no reason to not be blessed. You say, well, I grew up in a good Christian home, Christian family. I never grew the drunkard's home. Then can I ask you a question? What is your problem? I don't get you. I'm sorry. I just don't get you. It doesn't make any sense to me. You mean to tell me you got a mom and a dad that love God? They got you raised in a Christian home, Christian school, Christian family, and you're not happy about it? I'm sorry, I don't get you, man. It just doesn't make any sense to me. If the bus to the First Church of Satan had pulled up in front of my house the night before when that man beat the teeth out of my mother's head, I'd have got on that bus and gone to church and gladly didn't care where it was going. So I don't get you. I'm sorry. You'll have to talk to somebody talk to Brother Gray. He'll have a little more compassion for you because he's raised in a good home. I wasn't raised like that. I'm sorry, pal. I'm a blessed man. I live in America. I'm a blessed man. I'm going to heaven. I'm a blessed man. I got a Bible. I'm a blessed man. I'm a blessed man in my life. And it doesn't take something beyond understanding for me to feel blessed. Now, you may have noticed it, maybe not, but I'm a foodie. Many a burger's gone home to God. From right there, bro. You understand that? Hey, there's 32 verses in the Bible about being fat. There ain't one about being skinny. Why are you so lean, being the son of the king? That's what the Bible says. Diligent souls shall be made fat, the Bible says. That's right. I'm diligent, bro. I'm so diligent, sticking out. I did one of those ab crunchers. Found out I was doing it backwards. Now I got a six-pack going up my back. It's pushed it all out in the front. I'm a foodie. I'll be honest with you. My mom is a Texan. She fried chicken in a black iron skillet with Crisco and make white gravy with the pepper in there and steam up a bunch of potatoes, mash them up, fry up that chicken, crispy chicken. Pour off about half of that Crisco, not all of it, leaving them little noogies in the bottom. Little noogies. You know what a noogie is? Noogie. That's not somebody when you grab them by the head, rub them on your knuckles. That's not a noogie, okay? Noogie is that stuff comes off the chicken, floats to the bottom down there. And then she takes some flour and milk, spirit, and she'd make white gravy. While she's boil up a bunch of potatoes. Or if you got sanctified language, taters. And then she makes some green beans or some kind of vegetable thing for whatever. I don't know what that's all about. But and biscuits. Oh, come on now. And biscuits. Big old cat head biscuits. Doesn't mean the head of a cat either. It means about the size of the head of a cat. Flaky. Buttery. Lord, let me keep it in English. Buttery. Golden brown. She bring that chicken out there. I felt something on that right there. She bring that chicken out there, pile it up on a platter. She take a pile of mashed potatoes, mound about the size of Mount Everest, stick a half a stick of butter in there. And then after a little bit, you kind of mash it down a little bit on top, make a little reservoir. And then you baptize them mashed potatoes in that white gravy. I said you baptize them mashed potatoes in that white gravy. Full immersion. While you got your 2-3 biscuits over there and you get those biscuits, you stick the other half a stick of butter inside each one of those biscuits. And while it's in there doing that thing with the Holy Ghost where it's just kind of melting like that, you got homemade peach preserves. You put some green beans on there because it makes you healthy. But she puts bacon in it to make it edible. Bacon now. So, well, that doesn't sound very healthy to me. No, it's not. I granted it's not granola and spring water, but let me tell you something, Holmes. You pick up one of them pieces of chicken and you bite into that, and it's got that peppery, crunchy, juicy juice starts running down your arm. About that time, you poke that mashed potato pile, and the butter comes oozing out into that gravy. And then you take your green beans and run it through the gravy to kill off the rest of the flavor of the green beans. And you bring it up to your mouth. And you take a bite of those mashed potatoes, gravy, butter, and one green bean. If you bury it, you can get it down. You can. About that time, your taste buds line up in the back, and they get Baptist-costal on you. And then you got sweet tea. Now, sweet tea, some of y'all have no idea what sweet tea is. Now, if your mama makes sweet tea, she makes it right. She's Texan. She takes half a dozen, 6, 8 bags, Lipton bags, puts them in a pot, and boils the fire of them things until that tea looks black like coffee. Pulls the bags out while it's still hot. She's got a pitcher with about a half a bag of sugar in the bottom of that pitcher. And she dumps that hot tea in that pitcher, and it melts that stuff up, and you put it in the refrigerator, cool it down, or you get some cups with ice on it, whatever the case, you pour it out. It's like maple syrup. It's so thick and rich and sweet. Can I get a witness on that, Big Bob? Can I get a witness on that tonight, my brother? All right? Can I get a witness on that tonight? And then you got your biscuit over here. Now you leave a biscuit with just biscuit and butter for your gravy and your mashed potatoes and your chicken and all that. But you got another biscuit over here, and that biscuit, you put the peach preserves in that biscuit over there, and it just kind of hangs out the side of it like that. You got sweet tea, you got fried chicken, you got mashed potatoes and gravy, you got green beans with bacon in them, maybe corn on the cob, yellow sweet corn. Now, see, what's your point? I have no idea. I got lost in this sermon. I don't even have it in my notes. I don't think I can get back. Oh yeah, I'm a foodie. Okay, there we go. Yeah, that was what it was. Yeah. You knew what I was doing, okay? Now look at me, people. And that in my life, my little 2x4 squirt mama, Texan mama would be in the kitchen. She'd cook me that dinner with a black eye. In the morning, I'd step on her teeth, going to the counter to get something for a bowl, to have a bowl of cereal. I'd step on her teeth where that big drunk stepfather beat her. My mom was tough. She's a little bitty woman. She'd stand. I've seen her knock him right off his feet. Look here, look at me. You ain't blessed. Seriously, you ain't blessed. I don't want to see it. I'm sorry, but I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to hear about how you're not happy because you didn't get a ribbon for your hair, or your mom put your diaper on too tight when you're little, and your daddy didn't play catch with you enough in the backyard, and they're all disinterested in your life, and no one's in touch with your inner feelings and all this kind of stuff. I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to see your old sour puss, your old face out there like, well, he doesn't understand my life. Oh, shut up. I know that's not nice, but I'm not here to be nice. I'm here to get you to open your eyes and realize how blessed you are, my friend. Some people, they can't see what's going on around them. It's like, are you blind? Do you not get it? Some of you young people, you quit ruining your family vacations because you got to go with an attitude. Because you didn't get a little friend to go with you on your vacation. Oh, shut up. You ought to take you to the edge of the Grand Canyon and throw your wormy carcass off. And if they don't do that, next time bring your little friend and throw you and your little friend off the side of the canyon. Man, what is up with that? See these people out having dinner together, mom, dad, families having a dinner together somewhere, and inevitably it's a teenager sitting there on their phone, playing around with a stupid telephone. Dad says, what do you want? Yeah. Was that English? Yo, Adrian. I mean, was that English? You can't see what's going on around you, can you? I'm sorry, but I have been blessed. See, well, Pastor John said I didn't have a rough life. Then I don't understand you. I understand why you're not just hilariously happy all the time. Now, no, please don't get weird, okay? Some of you right now, you're going, I better smile, he's going to get on me. Well, now you look like you're on medication, okay? Or you need it. Or your shoes are too tight, or your underwear's on backwards or something. I don't know what your problem is. Don't get weird on me, okay? But I don't understand that. I don't get the hilariously happy life thing. Okay, you run and laugh all the time, they will put you in a room. Okay, you don't do that all the time, but it's better than this. You've been sitting here for 2.5 days. How many days have we been here? 2? Let's make it 2. I'm so happy I don't know where I am. I wake up in motel rooms, I go, where am I? It's really bad when you don't know you get it. You walk into a wall, you go, well, I'm not home. That wall wasn't there when I left. I know that. Well, seriously, some of you have been here 2 days. Look at me. You still can't crack a smile. And you think you have a right to look like that? You think you have that right? Now you're all smiling, so that's good. So I got you at least faking it real good. Remember, be sincere even if you have to fake it. You can't see things as they are. You can't see how blessed you are. You can't see, seriously. Now, here's the thing. You can't see the consequences of sin. Not us telling you, you seeing it. You can't see that. Come on, tell me, you can't see that. You drive by people, you see they live in the gutters, and you say, but that won't be me. Oh, that's what they always say. Oh, but I'm sorry. See, I work with them in the gutters long enough to know how it works. Not one of them started out in their life and said, I hope I get in the gutter someday. Not one of them. Not one of them. If you asked them, we have a service of the rescue mission in our town. You go there and talk to some of these folks, just chat with them. And not go down there and look down on them or anything like that. Just to be there and chat with them. I've met doctors, lawyers, professional people who have nothing, live under a bridge. And by the way, guess what they say? I can stop this anytime I want. No teeth. They're 40 years old. They look like they're 80. But excuse me, young people, one of the benefits of being in the church and serving in the ministry is you do get to work with all kinds of people. Now, we're not there to look down on anybody. Are we clear about that? We're not there to get our nose up in the air so you drown in a rainstorm. Not one of those deals. Okay, are we clear? But you do see that, right? You don't think that'll be you, kiddo, with 3 kids and 4 different dads? That won't be you, right? That won't be you. Right? You will be the one sitting in jail. Do you know what? 80% of young people who step through the door in juvenile hall, 80% will spend the rest of their life in and out of jail. 8 out of 10. But that won't be you. It will be. And you know why? Because you won't see it. Because it isn't going to be you. Well, I hope you plan on it not being you. But excuse me. By the way, there's something a lot worse than winding up in jail or in the gutter. How about winding up on the shelf? Where you got a job and a car and you got stuff, but you got no part of God's will for your life. And boy, don't you wish you did? Don't you see it? Perfectly good sight. But can't see things as they are. Perfectly good sight, but can't see things that are coming. Now, Stan Luttrell, my blind buddy, excellent at hide and go seek. Lousy at playing catch. Now, nowadays they have these balls and stuff that beep and the blind people can hear them. They can hit them and play ball and stuff like that. Well, they didn't have that in those days, okay? We barely had indoor plumbing. It was way back there. Abraham Lincoln and I were in school together. I mean, we're talking way back now. But Stan wanted to play catch so bad. And we're at his house one day and he goes, Mike, come on, let's play catch. I said, Stanley, buddy, you can't see the ball. He goes, I know, but if I tried. I said, Stanley, you can't see the ball. He goes, but if you told me it was coming. I said, but Stanley, you can't see the ball, man. And I'm not going to stand out there and bounce a ball off a blind guy's head. He goes, come on, man, give it a try. I said, all right, come on, let's go. So we go out there. And he wouldn't play with a softball. He wanted a hard ball. I said, Stanley, let's try like a rubber ball or something. Just, oh, no, this is the hard one, right? I go, yeah, Stanley, that's the hard ball. So he'd stand about from this far away from me, and I said, okay, now Stan, put a glove on his hand, put your hand out there like that. I thought I'll just throw it in his glove. He goes, but now, hey, I want you to do it like you would normally do. I said, well, Stanley, I can't do that. I'll hurt you. He said, come on, man. Okay, and I toss it in his glove. He catch it. He goes, see, I can catch it. And I said, okay, well, we'll do it that way. He goes, that's not really the way you do it, huh? So I know, Stanley, it's not. He goes, do it the way you're supposed to do it. I cannot tell you how many times I stood there and bounced the ball off that guy's chest and off his head. You see, that's cruel. Stanley wouldn't let me quit. I said, Stanley, you can't see it coming. You're never going to be able to play catch. There's just certain things you can't do. I can't read Braille. You can't play catch. That's all there is to it. You don't see it coming. Huh? You don't see that. Knocking doors in our town there, a lady came to the door, two little kids standing beside her, invited her to come to our church. She said, I grew up in a Baptist church. And I said, well, wonderful. Yeah, where do you attend now? She goes, I'm a Mormon. She said, I married a man who's a Mormon. Here, listen to me now, young people, look at me. And she said, you know what? He's a good man. He's a good husband. He's a good father. A good provider. They live in a nice big house. She said he's a good provider and a good husband and a good father. My parents told me not to date this guy, not to get to know him, and definitely not to marry him because he's not a saved man. She said, but I thought I knew better than them. And she said, I married him. Now look at me, and here's what she said. She said, you know, Pastor, she said, the truth is, I have a good life. I have a good husband. I have a wonderful family here. I have a nice home, a good provider for us and our children. She said, but he won't let me take him to my church. And she said, now what do I do about my kids? Oh, she didn't see that when she knew better as a teenager than her parents did. She didn't see it coming. I didn't get on her about it. I said, dear lady, I said, you can still witness to your children and tell them about Jesus and salvation. She had a testimony of salvation. She goes, yes, but they'll never know what I know. They'll never learn what I've learned. He will not allow us to do that. I am where I am. You say, now, some of you right now tonight, you're looking at me and you're saying, yeah, but if you got a nice car and you got a nice house and you got a nice clothes and you got a nice husband and you got a nice life, well, what else could you want? I tell you what you want. You want the will of God is what you want. Don't sell yourself short. Some of you, because you grew up in houses where things were tight and finances were tight, you're going to be the next multimillionaire and buy all the stuff you couldn't have and get. Are you out of your mind? Your motivation's already wrong. Your thinking is already messed up. Hey, there's nothing wrong with making money. The money's not the root of all evil. It's the love of money that's the root of all evil. And this materialistic thing is getting into our youth groups today. And we got young people whose parents struggle to take care of things. And their idea is, I'm not struggling like they struggled. I'm going to go make money so then I can get what I want and do what I want. I, me, my, mine. And that's nothing but pride. And pride goes before a fall. And a haughty spirit before destruction. And that doesn't mean you're going to wind up in the gutter someday living under a bridge. It simply means this: you're going to miss it all, pal, because right now you don't see it coming. Blind and don't see it coming. How many of you heard, look at me, how many of you have heard that Jesus is coming soon? How many of you have heard that? Put your fat hand up in the air. Let me see. Good. See, I don't have a fat hand. Yeah, you do. Just look at it. Put it up there. Good. You don't see it coming? I don't know. I'm surprised we made it this far into this year. I'm very surprised. There's so much stuff going on in the world today, shaping things up. We're right at the moment of the last instance before Jesus Christ comes back. And guess what? You don't have the time to waste to come back to where you need to be, because Jesus is coming now. Now, I'm not predicting the return of Christ, but I'm telling you this. I have every desire in my heart to know this, that Jesus Christ is coming very soon. I see it coming. Don't you see it coming, young people? Don't you understand there's no time to goof off? Some of you, you're going to go through school, and your pastor and your parents, if they're godly people, want you to go to Bible college afterwards and give at least a year, if not two. Nothing wrong with going for it. By the time you're done, you're 22. You still got plenty of life left. But not you. No, you're going to make money so you can go to Bible college. Never seen a kid do that yet who ever went off to Bible college. Not one. I've only been in the ministry 33 years, so I can't answer for everybody. I'm just answering for every kid I saw in 33 years. And do you know why? Because you think you got plenty of time. I got news for you, Holmes. You don't have time. I don't have time. It's coming. Jesus Christ is coming. Don't you see it? We don't have time to waste. Blind and don't see it coming. Blind and don't see what you're doing to others. Stan Luttrell never led me to do anything wrong in all the time I knew that young man. Never. He never said, hey, Mike, tell you what, my dad smokes. Let's go out and get a pack of cigarettes and smoke. Stan Luttrell never led me to do anything wrong. The kid had a purity about him. Do you not see that you do have an influence? No, look here. Let me show you. See this right here? Come here, Spanky. Good man. How old are you?
9.
9. Good. ¿Cómo se llama? What's your name?
Noah.
Noah?
Yes.
Noah. Noah built the ark. Noah's 9. How old are you going to be at your next birthday?
10.
And he can count. When is your next birthday?
April 19th.
April what?
19th.
Don't pick your nose in front of people. Your mom's probably sitting out there right now going, please don't pick your nose, Noah, in front of people. Didn't you have dinner before you came? No. So when you turn 10, Noah, you're going to be a double-digit midget. Did you know that? Huh? Now, if I was to ask my man Noah, you consider yourself a leader, Noah?
No.
Truth of the matter is the answer should be.
Yes.
Did you burp? What? The answer should be.
No.
No, the answer should be. It's the opposite of no. Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Now, would you think a 9-year-old boy would be a leader? You say, 9 years old? How many kings in the Bible were kings at 8 and 9 years of age? All right. Now, here's the deal. Thank you, son. You sit down. Don't pick your nose. Here's the thing. Look here. Truth of the matter is, everybody's a leader of some kind. Somebody is watching you. Somebody's following you in some way, some means, some manner. Now, the question isn't, are you a leader? The question is, where are you going? You ever notice that thing at youth directors? Isn't it a tragedy? We get these youth groups. Some of them, it's incredible. They're great servants. They love God. They want to do everything the Lord does. And then you get one of those youth groups where every one of them is a candidate to be the Antichrist. And you know who it starts with? One dude or dudette who decides they're going to go the other way. And they give the great statement, well, it doesn't make any difference what I do. It's their fault if they follow me. That's the most selfish, worldly thing I can think of. Amen. Hey, we're examples, the Bible says. We're spectacles. 1 Corinthians chapter 4 says we are spectacles unto the world, unto angels, and unto men. People are watching you. Classic example. Let me go a little bit longer on this if I may, just a second. I don't know why I'm asking because I'm going to do it anyhow. When I was in Bible college, we had a ministry to the sailors at Great Lakes Navy Base, 70 miles one way. And I call it ministry to the retarded because I was in the Air Force. My IQ was too high to be in another branch of the military, and we won't go into all the rest of that. We go up, thank you, brother. Truth hurts. Truth, here we go. So we take these says we go over them Saturday, pick them up, bring a bunch of them home, go back up on Sunday, pick a bunch more from the base, bring them down to church. So we're doing like 280 miles a weekend on this road. We're taking them all home on a Sunday night, pouring down rainstorm, driving through the Dan Ryan in the Loop in Chicago. And they put overpasses over the freeway, only instead of the overpass going up over the freeway, they dip the freeway under the overpass. And when it rains really hard, that thing fills up with water, that dip. We take these guys up to base, we drop them off, we're coming back. Bunch of workers on the bus, late at night, 2, 3 in the morning. We pull up and there's one of these underpasses that's full of water. Now look at me. There was a car submerged down in the water, and the guy just barely got out, left his door open, and the dome light was on, and you could see his car under the water, and the water was just above the top of the car. Well, we pull up there with the bus, and we're thinking, man, what are we going to do? We have to go all the way around. That'd take for hours. While we're sitting there talking about it on the bus, a semi-truck pulls up and just goes right on through. Being Bible college students and brilliant as we were, we all said, hey, we're as big as a truck. Let's go. So we tell our bus drivers, another student, Go on down in there. Just go slow, but don't let the engine die. First seat, first step, water comes in the bus. Second step, water comes in the bus. This is Chicago sewer water. I said Chicago sewer water. I said Chicago with Tootsie Rolls in its sewer water. Are you with me? I ain't had a Tootsie Roll since, bro. I'm going to tell you that right now. And he's going down in it, third step, and the water starts to come in the bus. And then, and it dies. And we're sitting there going, man, now what? Well, we have to get out and push the bus out. We all had our suits on because, we're fundamental. Big overpass, bus, water in the bus, Tootsie Rolls in the bus, Tootsie Rolls in the water. I don't know if I want to describe for you the expression sinkers as opposed to floaters, but we may get into that in a moment. So it was like 6 or 7 of us on the bus, guys. We go, we got to get out and push the bus. I go, man, I got like 2 suits, and I got these at AmVets. I can't ruin a suit in the water. They said, what are you going to do? I said, I'm taking mine off. This guy from West Virginia goes, well, brother, what are you going to do then? I said, I'm going to be in my underwear. But I got more underwear. I only got 2 suits. I said, but look, guys, let's keep our shirts and ties on so we look appropriate. What do you say? So all of us got up, took our suits off, and we're standing there in our underwear. You know it's embarrassing to see a grown man in tighty whities? You know that? It's embarrassing. We go to the bus. He opens the door. We start walking down. Squish, squish, squish. Thus, the sinker versus the floater ministry. Some of them were floating. Some went. Anyway. And you feel it going up between your toes when you step, squish, squish. And you think, I'm getting grossed out, huh? Hey, look at me. And there wasn't no mud out there, bro. Let me just say that right now, okay? So we're walking around the front of the bus, about this deep. My buddy Matt Cabral, Mexican, about that tall. He's doing one of these numbers. He's blowing the floaters away. We're walking around the front of the bus. Squish, 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 squish. We get to the front of the bus. We start pushing it out of the sewer. Squish, squish, squish. Now, they have in Chicago, they're called super rats. They're like rats. They're super rats. They got headlights, 3/4-ton tow package, license plates, brush guards. I mean, they're huge. And all of a sudden, one of the guys goes, a rat bit me, a rat bit me. And we all went, ah! And we jumped up on the bus. The bus driver starts laughing, and the bus, boo, rolls back into the sewer. So we get down, squish, squish. Max going. We push the bus up. We get it all up on the dry ground. We tell him, set the brake, set the brake. He sets the brake, and we're standing there. Oh, man, stuff is on me. So we're kind of squeegeeing it off of our legs like this. And all of a sudden, the bus driver does one of these numbers. We go, what? He goes, and we turn around. There must have been 200-300 people on that overpass. Watching 6 guys in white shirts and ties in their underwear pushing a bus out of the sewer. So we kind of went, watch this. We're Mormons. Got 10-speed bikes in the bus. You think nobody's watching you? Seriously? You're so selfish you don't care? Oh, that's wicked now. Look at me. You're a special kind of wicked if you don't see that. But don't you also, Frank, can I ask you a question? Don't you see the influence you're having on people? The good way now. Huh? These young people get up and give a testimony about how they were reaching the bus ministry. Now what are they doing? They're reaching people in the bus ministry, and they're helping people, and they're like, oh, how awful it would be to give up a whole Saturday for, a couple of years. Give up 4 or 5 hours on a Saturday to go help somebody to get on a bus and come to church, get saved, know Jesus. Maybe some of them will come to do the will of God. Well, they won't all do that. Oh, that's okay. Jesus didn't keep them all. You won't either. But I'll tell you something, my friend. There's nothing as great as a blessing as being a help and an influence in people in their life. There's no greater joy. No greater joy. But don't you see that? Because I guarantee you are. You ever get down the mountain and feel like, well, I'm not sure it'd make a difference. Oh, yes, you do. Oh, yes, you do. Don't you see that? Now, quickly, I'll finish tonight. Now, look at me. Stand on your feet, and we'll just finish this last point, give the invitation, and then I'll go to 5 guys. Now then, what we need to do is go like Jesus said to the church in the Revelation, to anoint your eyes with eye salve. That Laodicean area had a special kind of salve that could heal people's sight. It was incredible. It still works to this day, by the way, of different types of infections and things. We need to go to Jesus and ask him to help us to see. Okay, look, see yourself. Honestly. See yourself honestly. Not the way you see you. The way he sees you. Search me, O God, and know my heart, and try me and know my thoughts, and see if there be any wicked way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting. And then ask him to help you to see like you should. Where there is no vision, the people perish. Sad to think somebody's got 20/20 vision and won't see. Not that they can't. They don't want to. Heads bowed and eyes closed now for a moment. So then tonight, when was the last time you had a vision check with the Lord? Now again, I want you to start with yourself. Psalm 119 verse 18 says, open thou mine eyes, that I may behold wondrous things out of thy law. We need to come tonight and ask God to do a spiritual eye check, optometrist exam upon our vision. You know why? Because we're not seeing things like we should. And I don't mean that always in a negative way. Some of you have great blessings in your life, and you're missing it. Whew. My goodness. I don't want to miss it. I don't want to miss any blessing. I don't want to miss the blessing of a sunrise or a sunset. I don't want to miss the blessing of a smile on a child's face. I don't want to miss a thing. I want to see it all. Amen. Some of us need to come tonight and ask God to open our eyes to see. Some of you, you still have them closed. Not, I mean, closed in prayer. I mean, you don't want to see it. You don't want to see yourself as you are. You don't want to see what you're doing to other people in your life. You just don't care anymore, do you? I'm sorry for you, friend. I'm not scolding you. I pity you. So you don't need to do that. Oh, yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. Heavenly Father, help us tonight. Bless